This is Crystal the Foxy Colorist. Hey, welcome to the Fox's Den. It is Watercolor Wednesday, the Inktense version. We're going to jump right into this video because I have lots to talk about. First of all, let me state this. These came like maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and I have never used them before. The perspective that you are going to get from this video is somebody who has never used these before, who read like a couple of paragraphs, and they are trying to do their best. But what I have done is listed everything that I struggled with. So maybe you can have a perspective or give me some input in regards to it. All right. Y'all ready to jump in the pool, in the deep end? Let's go. All right. So at first I thought I was going to be able to cover both of these, like color something with the paint pan set and the pencils, but no, let's put this paint pan set down, and I only took out a few pencils. So this book right here, Brilliant Inks, I've had it for a while. I got it from Ollie's, but it talks about like inks and ink tints for like from a beginner's perspective. So the one thing that they said to do was to only take out a few pencils. So that's what I did. I only took out a few pencils. I took out the primary colors. Let me say this. I'm a software engineer. I'm all about logic. This color thing, I do this because I do math all day. So y'all cut me a break. But anyway, this is a great book. All right, but I'm gonna tell y'all what I did based on what I read in this book. So I took out a few of the pencils and I swatched them. But this is what I started out with first because it said to play with the pencils, the color, move it across the page. It said do a gradient. I was like, I don't even know if I could do a gradient like for real, let alone, with these. So I did do that. Okay. I swatched them out. I swatched out the few pencils that I selected. Okay. So I did that. So then I had purchased this book that said it was a watercolor book, coloring book for watercolor pencils. I'm looking at it over here to the left. I'm not gonna bust that book out online. They lied. It's not. That paper folded up like a napkin. That book is. It's not. It is not. Save your money. So here, first of all, I do this when I try something for the very first time. I like to put first try, and I use the water brushes. If you have stopped by the Fox's Den before, you know that these water brushes are my struggle. So I was like, well, maybe mine have gotten old and let me get some new ones. Guess what? I still don't know how to use them. Okay. So let's use these right here. So with this, I did try the watercolor brushes. Let me tell you what my struggles were or what I saw when I was doing this. Okay. First of all, I was like, how should I sharpen these? Okay. Um, I thought about Bubble Studio. She doesn't, she was like, don't use a pencil sharpener, because these pencils can be kind of expensive and you don't want to just sharpen it all the way down. But then when I tried to use my little sharpener, the color thing cracked. So if you have these, how do you sharpen yours? That's one of the questions that I had. Another question that I had, or another thing that I experienced. Okay, so what I eventually did though, I put this on the lowest setting and I sharpened it. Because what else was I going to do? So I did do that. But do you do that? Do you sharpen your ink tints in a sharpener? That's the question. Please let me know. Another thing that I noticed when I was swatching, okay, or when I was kind of playing with the paper, the color along the paper, I tend to have these lines. Can you see that? Let me see. Like, and I think it's because I'm coloring too hard with them. These pencils are they're soft, but they're thick. And I'm thinking, Crystal, I think that's happening because you're coloring too hard. And then once I tried to take the brush and like work the color out, well, that other paper was just folding up. And okay, Why is that happening? That's another thing that I noticed. These are things that I noticed as someone who has never used Inktense before, and they just jumped into the deep end, okay? So I picked out my colors, or I picked out colors, and this was my first try trying to use a water brush. So the first flower that I tried was this one right here, and this was this deep purple with candy and pink, and it just looks a hot mess to me, y'all. Look at this. Y'all see that? First of all, I was like, okay, I would never pick those colors out for real. And why is it bubbling up like that? I was like, well, maybe I need to like move the brush differently. What I was doing, I was going from light to dark. Yeah, I didn't like that one. So then I was like, okay, Crystal, don't try to do the two color. Just try to do one color. So I picked I think this is like a mauve. I picked a mauve color. Let me just show you guys. Yeah, because you can see this. So I picked one color because I'm like, look at here. You're trying to run and you can't even walk. Okay, another thing that I noticed, if you have these pencils already, because I told myself, I said, look at here. I think you're just supposed to color like you regularly color. Why are you doing this choppy mess? What say you? Because I was like, that is not how I color, but I'm feeling like I need to do that. I'm not sure why I am, but I was like, I think you're supposed to color like you regularly color. That's what I said to myself, okay? As and I felt that way after doing these three and they didn't come out looking well. I was like, you are not coloring the way that you normally color. Hence the reason why it's giving you a result that's undesirable. And I'm still doing it because I don't color like this, but I don't know, because it's not a watercolor, because it's a pencil and it's water, I can use water on it. For some reason, I'm feeling like I need to do that. So let me show you what I did. Now, I would never color a page like this, but for some reason I did. First of all, I threw the water brushes to the side because that was frustrating me. Now, what I did was I got some new paint brushes, and I wanted to make sure that they were specifically made like for ink and like the different types of mediums that I use. So I wanted to make sure that the brush wasn't too wet, because one of the things that I hear everyone say is that the colors are very intense. See, look, that's too much water. And then I was like, well, Crystal, maybe you're laying down too much color. One of the things they talk about is, oh, awesome layers. I'm like, if you lay everything down in one, it says layers, plural, not layer. Because, I'm just trying to put a layer. I was like, that's probably why it looks like that too. And then I was like, why are you doing this swishy thing? Oh, Jesus help. Again, these are all of the things that I asked myself while I was doing this, okay? So if you've used Inktense before, what were some of the things that you ran into? What were some of the things you ran into? A lot of people, they teach things. Oh, this is the beginning introduction. And again, like I read this book, okay? When I don't know how to do something, I read and I research. But then where is the teacher when I have questions? I have questions. Like, okay, yeah, this is in this book, but my hand is up. Teacher, help. But there's no teacher in here, y'all. It's just me in the den. So yeah. So I was like, color like regular, question mark. And I said, maybe yes. I said, but add a little water. Then I said, color like you regularly color. And I put exclamation marks. It's like when I'm doing something for the first time, I like to like write down little like notes everywhere so I can remember. Okay, so which one is this? This is, I ain't gonna use that. I had bad luck with that one. Or could it be I just don't know what I'm doing? Let's take this Candium Orange, okay? And I am going to put it, I'm going to try it right here, okay? I'm going to color like I regularly would color. if I could get outside of my brain. Tell me this. I do this all the time. I get inside my head and I'm like, why are you already know what you're supposed to do. Don't nobody have to say nothing to you because you're defeating yourself because you are inside of your head. Get out of your head. I used to play sports and they used to say that. Don't let them get inside your head. I'm like, dude, ain't nobody inside my head. Ain't nobody in there. Again, I feel myself pressing down really hard, but I do that anyway. But it says layers, plural, Foxy the colorist, not layer. So that's one thing I'm going to have to work on. All right, so I have, and then I would normally like add another color, but I'm not doing that. So let me take my water, but I'm going to make sure the brush is wet, but it doesn't have a lot of water on it, because if I water it down, then it's not going to be vibrant, like it says on the package. Okay, this is my dilemma too. I want a watercolor. You're probably not supposed to do that, huh? Somebody let me know in the comments. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down. Teacher, I have a question. See, ain't no teacher in here. That's why this is why we need each other. Cause you can read a book, but once you get in the thick and thorns, you might need somebody to give you a band-aid or something or help you out. Now see, this doesn't look as bad, but okay, so I would say that this is a yes, that I should color like I normally color and stop all that. All right. So as someone who has never used these before, and guys, forgive my voice, I'm still sick. Um, just color like you regularly color. Don't get inside your head. Pick out colors that you would normally pick out. I don't even know, that don't go. I wouldn't pick this out anymore. Maybe in the beginning I would, but I wouldn't pick these out now. So what I did was I said, I regrouped. I read my little list and I said, let me regroup. I said, first of all, let me pick out some colors that make sense. And I went with this blue and green. Okay. And then I was like, color like you normally color and stop hatching back and forth. All right. So let's take this. We're going to take teal green and yellow. And we are going to put that on this leaf. I'm going to put the teal in the middle because I'm going to act like I want the leaf to be dark in the middle. I'm trying to apply light pressure. And I have learned, but let's see, that look crazy. That is not how I color. I can't do that. So I'm just going to try to apply light pressure, but color like I normally do. Okay, here we go, guys. Teal. All right, so we have that down. So then I would take a lighter color if I wanted to leave. This is just, I'm saying to myself, this is how you normally color. Stop picking out crazy colors that don't match, that don't look good. Look, you don't do that anymore. Okay, yellow and, okay, I'm about to say, Lord, I'm about to make brown, but I'm not. All right. Now, see, that look crazy, but do not fear, underdog is here. I guess because I'm about to, kind of switch it together, it should be okay. So I'm going to go light to dark. Oh, that's too much water. That's not enough water. I don't know, guys. I'm not going to give up. Don't give up. Don't give up, Lee. Don't give up. That's from Rush Hour 2. Rush Hour 2 when he was fighting. Give up. I don't know. That doesn't look good to me. See how grainy it looks in the middle? I'm not doing something right. But I was happy with this one. And I was happy with this. Okay. So after trying this, I was like, okay, stop coloring flowers. Maybe it's flowers. You know, you're trying to add all these colors and stuff. Find something else to color in. But the so-called watercolor books that I purchased are liars. The paper is not watercolor paper. The ones that I used last week, they were, but the ones that I bought this week are not. And you're probably saying, well, show us what they are. I, I don't want to do that, and I'll tell you why later. But this is the book I chose, Nature Scenes. Shout out to Book Outlet. All y'all people who told me about Book Outlet. It has the best paper for something that I want to test, because I was going to use my Hannah Carlson book, and then I remember somebody was like, don't be practicing in your good books, use something else. And that is so smart. Thank God for friends. So I colored this frog, and the entire time, let me lift it up some. I said, just color him how you would normally color him. Okay. Then I was like, I'm going to get on camera and I'm going to try to, like, should I say paint? I'm going to add a little water. So I'm going to tap my hand every time just to make sure it's just a little bit of water. Where do I want to start? I always tell people to start someplace like at the bottom in case you mess up, then no one will see. Okay. I think also too that I'm being choppy. I don't think you should be choppy. When I say choppy, this is what I mean by choppy. Chop, 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 chop. I don't think you should do that. I think you should like do like a long continuous stroke. That's what I think. Because I think it looks better. That doesn't look too bad, guys. I did use two colors, in the green family. And I tried to put the darker color in the middle. All right, so let's try this one right here. All right. Okay, test your arm. All right, so, all right, let's go up and make sure. One continuous stroke. Now, see, that looks beautiful. RJ, you were absolutely correct. The colors are very bold and beautiful. Y'all remember that show? Too much water. Okay, so as someone who has never used these before, color like a regular person, period. That's what that means. It's my scratchy whatever. Um, Brush stroke should be one continuous. And then again, I asked myself, color like regular? And I said, maybe yes, with a little water. And then I yelled at myself again, color regular. So that is a true statement. I shouldn't be doing that hatching stuff. Y'all, eat me up in the comments with some input if you've done this before. This is so funny. I learn a lot doing things this way because once I finally really learn how to do it, I can tell everybody else, no, don't do that because this is what's going to happen. All right. Okay, I think that's what, okay, I didn't finish. You're supposed to do, guys. I really think that's it. So let me be adventurous, and I'm going to try his hand. I put that blue on there. I love blue-green. So let me try his hand. Lord, I mean, whatever this is. It's a hand tonight, y'all. All right, so I'm going to try it. I hope the camera's focusing. I have nothing over on this side. Let me put this wonderful book that I got from Ollie's over here. All right, here we go. Take a deep breath. You got this, girl. Okay, make sure it's not too wet. Okay, boom, boom. All right. I think I should start over here. Y'all see how I'm inside my head? Give me a break. Oh, I don't know. Another thing too, I think in the beginning, I'm just trying to treat it like it's watercolor, but it doesn't move the same. I guess it could if I added a bunch of water, but I don't think that's what you're supposed to do. Hmm. Oh, okay. Oh, I like this blue. Maybe I should have came this way. I like the way that looks. Hmm. So I don't know about that. This darker green right here. I think that's that field green. I don't know about that. That's not my favorite. All right, so let's see. Oh my. Uh, Again, I need to focus on, not being all choppy with my brush strokes. Because one of the things that I read is they said that the reason why like you have so many splotches is because you're going back over an area that you have already completed. And if you just don't go back over that area and wait for it to dry, then that will prevent all the uneven tones of the same color. And I noticed that when I was coloring in my Hannah Carlson books. I was like, I saw. Yeah, don't say. So I'm definitely gonna try that. Okay, so I must agree, the color is beautiful. Once I get this, can't nobody tell me nothing. They're gonna take my inks to the Old Town Road and paint like I never be. All right, that green is so pretty. Oh my goodness, it's really nice. I really like that. Let me try. I always don't like. Let me try his other arm first before I try his face. They say protect your face at all costs. I'm starting here because I want to see what this yellow in this color looks like. So I'm just gonna take my brush. I'm gonna make one long stroke. It's not gonna be choppy. I'm gonna come back, forth, back. This reminds me right here of using an alcohol marker. So this reminds me of when I was in school and they were like, look at here, you need to learn how to use applied knowledge. Every time you come in here, it should not be like you coming in here with a clean sheet of paper. And it's so true because it's like, yeah, I've watercolored before, but this isn't like watercolor. But the things about how you move the brush, like certain things still apply. I'm not starting with a blank sheet of paper per se, in regards to it's kind of like when I had to tell myself, just color regular. You know how to color, you know how to pick out colors, combinations. Why are you acting like you're starting with a blank sheet of paper? Yeah, all right. Ooh, that green is okay. Go back up, back up, back up, up. I'm gonna stop there. Okay, I like it. I love these ink tints. The color is beautiful. Oh gosh. It's RJ, you were right. You was right, girl. High five. Boom. Yeah, you were right. You were right. But I just don't know what I'm doing just yet. Let me do his face. I think his face is gonna be super cute. Frog cute, that is. It'd be cute if I don't mess him up. I'm sorry, Mr. Froggy. So I haven't swatched out all the colors. because, I just wanted to take a few of them. I have a set of 72. I probably should have got a set of 3, okay? But I don't think they sell them like that. I guess you could buy singles, but y'all know me. I'm jumping in the deep end and I'm yelling help. Help! Now I wouldn't do that for real. Yeah, once I get this, oh, this is gonna be good. Once I get this. I like it. I like it. And then I'm thinking like, I put like a light yellow, like a yellowish green in the middle because, I wanted it to be, lighter in the middle. And I'm like, that's how you would normally color. Don't abandon that. All right. So let me show you one more thing that I encountered. Mr. Frage, he's looking okay, guys. He really is. So let me just listen this list again, okay? I think the reason why I was getting those lines is because maybe I was pressing, like when I was, just, I think I was pressing too hard. What do you think? Because I was getting lines. We don't want that. How do you sharpen yours? I'm not sure. Let me know because like I have a Prismacolor sharpener for my Prismacolor pencils, but it don't even work the best. I'm like, y'all not gonna dupe me this time. I'm gonna ask somebody who already has these, and that's how I'm gonna find out. I'm not just it matched, so let me buy it. No, I'm not doing that. Um, I think I should always go from light to dark. I need to not be choppy, like chop chop. I need to like I'm using an alcohol marker, and that's how you don't get streaks. And I need to color like I regularly color and pick out regular colors, not this. But it's okay because this is my first try with the water brush, even though I threw them over there. Eventually, I'm going to pick them up and try again. But right now, I'm just going with a brush. But let me show you one more thing I did before we go. Hold, please, hold. All right. So I just wanted to show you one of the things is like the first 2 chapters from this book, Ink. It says all things colored ink and then basic techniques and beyond. And this is the part that I was, really looking into. This is talks about like the different inks. So this is the part that I was going over and reading. But again, sometimes you have a question for the teacher. And I got these books from Ollie. This Get Washed Up is another awesome book. It talks about, Crystal, move it over. 20 painting projects. But again, in the beginning of the book, it gives you like someone who's never done it before. It's like, help us out. I can't just do a project. Okay. So let me show you this book. This book right here, Create Beautiful. This is the book that I really want to use these ink tints in. Okay. There's a part back here called Color. Where's that? And this book is beautiful. But this is, I want to use those ink tints in this part of the book. And I started, but I didn't go too far because I didn't want to mess it up. So I did start this part right here with the Eiffel Tower and the flowers and the colors. I think what they're trying to tell you to do is like use this color palette and maybe apply it over here. But y'all already know I'm do what you want to, do whatever you want, do what I'm gonna do what I want to do. And y'all, I can only work green right now. So I really want to do this page right here, but it just has some other look at this. Beautiful pages in here to color. And I want to use this book for my Inktense because I know that the colors are going to be absolutely amazing. All right. So I just wanted to show you guys this beautiful book, great pictures in it. And this is the book that I'm going to use, when I'm using my Inktense, when I feel just a little bit more confident because I don't want to mess them up. I really don't want to mess them up. But I definitely want to use them in this book because I know they're going to be absolutely amazing. And it's called Create Beautiful. And it has other stuff in here, but I like the color part. Crystal the Foxy colors. All right. So we are at the part of the video where we have got to get the foxes in order. Okay. So it's time for the special announcement again. All right, so let me say this. Every week, the word is going to be a different word that you have to say if you desire um, the art supply that needs love. It needs a new home, okay? So let me show you guys these. All right, so this is a set of Castle Art watercolor pencils. And I haven't even, I swatched them, but let me not lie, I didn't swatch all of them. It's like I would pull them every now and again, but I'm like, there is someone who would put these to good use. You can use these and determine if you want to buy some other ones. So you just don't have to start like, oh, let me buy these pencils and then I don't even like them or whatever. They're just sitting in the den, unloved, and they need a new home. Plus, I just bought 2 new sets in here, so something has to go. So these are the ones that have to go. So if you would like this, let me know. You have to be the first person. Okay, first of all, you're going to have to send your address if you win to thefoxycolorist at gmail.com. Let me write that down. The and it's going to be in the description. Thefoxycolorist at gmail.com. Okay. So let me also add this stipulation. Okay. You have a week to send me your address. Because somebody else might want the supply, or you know what I mean? I really want to give these away to, like to somebody who wants to use them, who wants to color with them, because they've just been sitting here crying because they're not getting used. So that is really messy. But the Foxy Colorist at gmail.com. You send me once I tell you who's won, you send me your address. I'm gonna package it and I'm gonna send it to you to get it out of the foxes den because it's getting quite crowded in here. The word this week is. Hold on a second. I changed the word. The word this week is. I'm sorry, guys. Inktense. All right. So if you would like this, did I spell it right? Lord, it's late, Jesus. Inktense. Okay. If you think you would like this supply right here, and you're the first person to type Inktense in the comments, it's yours. It's yours. Because I got it. Yeah, I just got 2 new sets of pencils. So I would really love to give these away to somebody who wants some watercolor pencils. Again, they're Castle Art. It's 120 of them. I think it's I think you would love these. So let's see who win. Guys, thank you for stopping by the den. I had so much fun with you guys. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and watches the videos and leaves me such good input to help me to be a better colorist. All right, let's see who wins this art supply this week. Like I always say, sometimes you just got to jump in the deep end, but you scream out for the lifeguard, okay, in case you don't know how to swim. Keep it foxy. Peace.